And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of New Earth TV Live. Great to be with you once again. We had a great webcast yesterday, so I'm looking forward to sharing some other great insight with all of you today, as we are going to be bringing in an Adronis transmission. We're going to be doing Q&A, and basically we're going to shake things up a little bit here in regards to outline. So basically we're going to do Q&A and distance healing together. Okay? So what that means is if I stumble upon someone who wants to do a healing quest, then I'll take care of that person who wants a healing request. If I have a person who has a question, then I'll go to that person who has a question. So we're basically converging it into Q&A and distance healing time all together. That just makes it a little bit easier for me, and I'm sure it will make it easier for you guys as well too. We're also going to start off with a very new technique that I'm going to be sharing with you guys as well. That is extremely helpful. Both my girlfriend and I are doing it. And it's been very, very helpful. It's been very rewarding. It really brings you into greater, stronger vitality, works and helps to heal the body. But most importantly, it helps to bring your recognition of awareness into a greater potency. So we'll be getting to that in just a few minutes as we first go ahead and start off with some announcements. So first announcement is the promo code for AETHERX is end of November 22, so ENDOFNOV, all capital letters, end of November 22, to get 22% off of products in your order. So that is available now. If you go to AETHERX.co, again, I've talked about the brand new Source flashlight. We also have the brand new earthing socks as well too. So for those of you who are familiar with the insoles, we now have earthing socks. So these are just socks that you put on. You would activate them just as you would any other particular AETHERX product that basically has the logo there. You would activate it, and then you would start getting the Schumann resonance flowing through your feet with these socks helping with that. Not only that, but it's also designed to basically work with the lower part of the body, right? To work with the legs, to work with the genitals, to work with the reproductive system, to work with the nervous system as well too. It also helps to work in helping to heal the body altogether, but it is more concentrated in the lower part of the body. So that is available right now. The AETHERX socks, we have them in both black and white. I wasn't able to get the size 9 to 13 white, so I'm basically talking to the supplier because I guess they forgot to send it to me. So working on that right now. But the AETHERX socks are our latest item that is available, and go ahead and grab it. I've been wearing them, and they feel great. They feel wonderful. It's just as powerful as if you were to wear the AETHERX insoles, right? So the insoles that you just slip into your shoes, and you use that. So they are equally powerful, both the socks and the insoles. Not to mention the Source flashlight, which is also available, which is again our most powerful and potent product. And of course, we're going to be getting the AETHERX source laser pen coming very, very soon as well too. It's on the way. It should be here in a couple of weeks. So that is kind of like a laser pointer, but again, it's good for, more smaller areas in the body, like putting it in the nose, putting it in the ears. But again, it still has that same type of potency. It is also going to have the Kundalini healing power as well too. So like I said, this week, the Source flashlight and the Taurus bed kit will be the two that will have the Kundalini source power, healing power to it. And I'll be updating everybody through the newsletter about when that is available. So again, if you are not signed up for the newsletter, just go to AETHERX.co, scroll down the page till you get to the footer of the page, and you'll see the little sign up box there where you can put your name in to get the newsletter. Okay? And if you've already purchased something in the past as a customer, you're automatically signed up to receive the newsletter. Unless you've said, no, I don't want to get it, then you would have to sign up. Okay? Anyway, so that is available at AETHERX.co, and this Sunday, I'm going to be doing an AETHERX live stream, and I'm going to be giving away 2 Source flashlights. Okay? So again, you just go to youtube.com/@AETHERX store, subscribe there, and I will be on the air at 10 a.m. Pacific this Sunday to do the AETHERX live stream, talk about new updates, and of course do that giveaway for 2 Source flashlights. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So join me then. Moving on. Okay, private sessions, distance healing session, 3-question private email session, and full body source healing sessions. All of these are available at newearthteachings.com. And as I said, if you want to connect with me a lot more quicker rather than waiting in line, one of the best sessions to do that with is the private sessions. Okay, so I have a lot of bookings for 3 questions, for distance healing, for full body source healing sessions. But my private sessions aren't as booked. So if you want to connect with me in that way, you can look into booking a private session. That also goes for the nutrition and genetic scan session. This is also getting pretty booked up, but there is of course availability. So again, you can get that on newearthteachings.com. So Brad, what is the nutrition and genetic scan? Well, basically I'm helping to activate 5 particular genes within yourself that are crucial to one's own health that have been basically mutated. And this basically has happened to the majority of the population. So when you're going through the nutrition and genetic scan, not only are you being aware of how your nutrition is doing through your vitamins, through your minerals, and through your amino acids, but you're also looking into these 5 genes, and they're referred to as the methylation genes. Right? And basically I'm activating them. And this is all based upon the research of Gary Brecka. And so I looked into this and said that's very interesting because I've been able to activate my own, and I'm feeling a big difference. I'm starting to lose weight just by activating those genes and following together with a much more better process of daily living, from diet, from exercise, from everything, right? Again, one of the exercises I'm going to teach you here today will really, really help. Brings about a great potency in the recognition of your awareness. So again, nutrition and genetic scan sessions are available. Again, the full body source healing session is available, and it is a very intricate, it is a very thorough scan. And you're basically getting things in that full body session that no other person on this planet will give you. And I can pretty much guarantee you that, right? Because it's giving you so much depth about what is the state of your body, looking into the state of your own energy levels. And again, if you've signed up for the nutrition scan, getting to know all of those things in one pure package. There's nobody on this planet that offers that. So again, look into that. That's something that's going to be extremely beneficial. If you care about your health, that would be something I'd recommend. Okay, moving on. So, Bosnia Pyramids, an ancient healing tour. Explore ancient pyramids, develop ancient healing practices, and discover extraterrestrial roots. So again, I'll be doing this in September, from September 15th to 22nd in 2024. So exploring the ancient sun pyramid, larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza, healing chambers within the pyramid and its construction revealed by Adronis. Adronis is going to be talking a lot about the history of the pyramids, about how all of this has come together. Ancient healing practices and environmental healing, I'll be teaching you all about that. Witnessing sacred sites and harnessing sacred power to take back home with you. So again, through crystals, through gemstones, through jewelry, I will be able to imbue all those things with you guys, and you'll be able to take the power of the Bosnian pyramids, as well as the Bosnian sacred sites back home with you to cherish for as long as you have those items. So again, you can register now at wowtours.de. This is going to be another once-in-a-lifetime adventure to Bosnia. Like I said, last year we did the UK, had a wonderful time in the UK. It was very enlightening, it was very warming, it was great company as well too. Had a wonderful time, and I know Bosnia is going to be just as exciting. So again, check that out at wildtours.de. And everything on our New Earth Teachings YouTube channel is backed up onto our Odyssey channel. You can find the link here, odyssey.com/@newearthteachings, and feel free to follow along there if you like. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started today with the webcast, New Earth TV Live. Let me just get my chair straight here. And my mat. I have an earthing mat just underneath me here, so I'm just trying to get that straightened out. There we go. Okay, so as I talked about, firstly, I'm going to be teaching you guys this new exercise, and I'm going to be bringing Adronis in for a transmission, and then we'll be getting into Q&A and to distance healing as well too. All right. So this exercise, I have termed it as the Universal Heart Meditation, all right? Or you could just refer to it as a Universal Heart Exercise. And it's very, very simple to perform, okay? All you're doing with this, and the entire purpose of this exercise, is to be fully aware of the prana that comes within you as you breathe in, putting it and saturating it directly into the heart. So as you're inhaling, you're doing an Om chant, right? You're just doing a mental Om chant as you breathe in, and you're compacting and concentrating all of the prana, just like you're seeing it as white light that is being compacted and concentrated directly into the heart. Now, you firstly want to get sensitized to your heart, so you just do this. Okay, this is all you're doing. Just taking your fingers and just rubbing the center here. Okay, I want you guys to do that just for a few seconds. Okay, just so you're becoming sensitized to the heart, so that you can feel the heart. Because a lot of us will do this and we won't even feel it, right? Because we're not sensitized to the heart, we're numb to the heart. Okay, so if you're feeling numb to the heart, this is all you're doing. You're just kind of rubbing your fingertips, nails across the center of your chest like this, a little bit more to the left, okay, and just rubbing here. As you do that, you're starting to get sensitized to the heart. You start doing this every day, you're now going to start feeling energetically strong within the heart. This is a Native American tradition about how they teach others to feel their heart, to go into their heart space. It's just being able to rub with their forefingers a little bit over to the left and just rubbing the heart, right? Doing that more and more is going to help you to become completely sensitized to your heart, so that you now know exactly what your heart is going through. Now you know exactly the energies that are coming into the heart, because this is your empathic center. Okay? So once we have done that, you're just taking an inhaling breath, and as you're inhaling, you're Om chanting. You're Om chanting mentally as you inhale. And as you inhale, it's like you're imagining that the prana within your surrounding environment is coming into your breath and filling up the heart. Okay? Just filling it with that pure white light. So let's try that together now. Inhale. Into the heart, and I want you to hold it for 2 seconds, 1 1000, 2 1000, and then you're letting it out. So you're exhaling, again, doing an Om chant mentally, and you're expanding that light like it's a sphere. Okay? And you're just letting that expansion guide you. Do not control the expansion. Okay? Let the expansion guide you. So basically, if I'm inhaling, right? Inhale with an Om chant. Gathering that all into the heart, pausing for 1, 2, exhale. And I'm expanding that bubble. I'm expanding that field of the light that was collected and concentrated into the heart. And I want you just to be guided with the expansion. Do not control the expansion. Let the expansion guide you. Because when you let the expansion guide you, you're going to feel yourself expanding throughout the entire room. And then we go in and we do it again. We inhale with your Om chant mentally, holding it for 1, 2, and exhale. As you keep doing this, you're noticing that your recognition of your expansion of awareness is going to become much more vivid. So now you're feeling yourself as big as the house. You inhale again because you're bringing more concentrated prana, and compacting it directly into the heart. Hold it, 1, 2, and exhale. And expand, let the expansion guide you. And now you're feeling it, say, going down the street. And you continue to do this over and over and over again, and your expansion is now going to cover the land. Your expansion is now going to cover the entire planet. Your expansion is now going to cover the entire belt between Earth and the moon. It's now going to cover the moon. It's going to go to Mars. It's going to go to Jupiter. It's going to go to Saturn. It's going to go through all the entire solar system. The more that you're continuing to do this. Now, Brad, do you need to sit down quietly and do this? No. You can do this while you're driving. You can do this while you're making dinner. You can do this while you're having a shower, while you're having a bath. You can do this while you're working. Okay? It is actually complementary to your own activity. One of the hardest things that many of us have is being able to feel like we need to find time to meditate. Oh, Brad, I can't really do that. I have to take the kids to school. I have to go to work. I have to work in my office. I got my 9-to-5 job. I got to drive back home. I got to make dinner. I got to take care of the kids. I got to make sure they're clean. I got to go and put them in bed. And then maybe I got 15, 20 minutes to do meditation. Okay? Well, this, again, is a technique that works together throughout your entire day, whether you are resting or whether you are active. Okay? So it's working together with the universal heart meditation or the universal heart exercise continuously so that you're being aware of your expansion. Okay? So like I said, this is going to do wonders for your vitality. This is going to do wonders for your immune system. This is going to do wonders for helping to bring about the integrity of your organs, improving the integrity of your organs. But most importantly, it's going to help you in realizing the expansiveness of your being. Okay? It is a very, very powerful exercise. So I want us to do this together right now. Again, you don't have to be in any kind of fancy posture, right? You don't have to be cross-legged. You don't have to do anything of that nature, because this is meant to work together with you flexibly, pertaining to anything that you're doing, whether you are resting or whether you are active. Okay? So let's do that together now as I guide you. Okay, so let's inhale. Om. Feeling that light coming into the heart, compacting it there. 1, 2, exhale. Om. And feeling it expand. 1, 2, inhale. 1, 2, exhale. Letting the expansion guide you. Do not control the expansion. Inhale. Feeling all of that light compacting into the heart. Exhale. Letting the expansion guide you. Okay, so what you're learning to do here is you're learning to let go of trying to control everything. Let go of trying to control how much light is coming into your heart. Just witness it. Right? Just let it compact. Let it concentrate itself into the heart. All you are doing is witnessing. All you're doing is working with the breath and chanting the Om mentally within yourself. So just breathe in, chant in the Om, and be aware of that light that is compacting and contracting into the heart, concentrating into the heart, like you have a heart made out of white light. And then expand. As you exhale, chanting Om. And just let the guidance of the expansion show you exactly how far you're expanding. Okay? And the more that you're continuing to do this, you're noticing that, oh my goodness, I really am one with everything. I feel completely one with my home. I feel completely one with my family that's here. I feel one with my cat. I feel one with my dog. I feel one with the animals outside. I feel one with the trees outside. I feel one with the birds in the air. I feel one with my neighbors. And this is exactly what it's teaching you. It's helping you to see your interconnectedness as you expand yourself beyond the physical body. And it brings you into such delight, brings you into such illumination and warmth that you just feel on top of the world. This is dissolving all of your problems at the same time because you just feel so amazing. You're letting go of the need to control, right? All you're controlling is just your basic functions, right? Your inhale, your Om chanting mentally, your exhale, your Om chanting mentally. Everything else is guided. Okay? So I want you to continue to practice that. I'm going to make a standalone video on this exercise, the Universal Heart exercise. Okay? And like I said, you can do it at any time. Okay? It does not matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're exercising in the gym. You can still do this. Okay? I know if you're jogging a lot, you're probably going to be doing a lot of panting breath, but I would say maybe do it before and after that, right? So again, this is meant to take together with you. If you're doing this all the time, every single day, you're going to become quite masterful in understanding your own expansion and understanding the nature of oneness very quickly. Okay? And I'm doing this all the time. I was doing it all last night. I was doing it this morning, just I was doing some errands. And it is wonderful. My girlfriend's doing it. She's loving it. She's so happy. She can't stop smiling. So this is it, guys. This is something that you can help with, okay? So again, we're just breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Now again, if you're having problems with your nose, if you want to breathe in through your mouth, you can do that, okay? So if you want to go, that's okay too. There's no real rules for this other than just following the basic flow. As you inhale, as you exhale, okay? Just chant Om. As you're inhaling, chant Om as you exhale, okay? You're bringing the source center vibration with you as you inhale, as you exhale, as you bring in that recognition of awareness of your own expansion. It's beautiful. You can explore the entire universe doing this technique. All right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and bring Adronis in. And Adronis is going to go ahead and discuss a transmission today. Then we'll be getting into Q&A and distance healing at the same time. All right? And I know you guys have donations, so I will be getting to your donations as well, your donation-based questions as well too. Okay? All right, so I will take a moment, bring Jonas in, and we'll get started. Tera Soul Star Sirius Adronis We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. What we'd like all of you to do at this time is simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius, so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Also understand that all of the information that we shall provide today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. We will elaborate a little bit further pertaining to your interstellar connections. Primarily, what has been termed as your own genetic stock that again has been contributed and donated by your interstellar ancestors. Now, it is said that there are 22 different, shall we say, extraterrestrial races that have invested their particular genetic stock directly into the creation of humanity. We have, on occasion, named some of those particular beings that represent the contributors. Rather, we would say that your extended family. That represents the nature of the human vessel, operating in the way that it does. Why was this necessary? Why was it that humanity was looking to be engineered in that way? Because it is exactly what the earth wanted. That's it. It is exactly what the earth wanted energetically, vibrationally, through the nature of frequency, so that the earth could therefore be completely compatible with raising the children of the earth, representing humanity. And so there was a great deal of sophistication representing to your own genetic stock that invested in the, shall we say, genetic currency of 22 different extraterrestrial races. And so there are what you would commonly refer to as the primordial or root races, the 6 that represent yourself. But is it true that humanity exists upon other planets beyond the Earth? Absolutely. The human vessel has been a part of this entire universe for billions of years, if you're looking in that terms of counting. So again, the humanity itself is nothing new pertaining to its presence here throughout the entire universe. But this, in that sense, pertaining to humanity upon the earth, represents a very different orientation of being. It is a new stage, as it were. Again, it represents a particular form of divine hierarchy. That you have humans, that you have angels, that you have archangels, that you have seraphim, that you have creator gods, leading all the way up into the union of the divine. And humans represent the bottom rung of that particular ladder. Because humans, unlike the other 3 that we have mentioned, are the most adaptable and the ones that are capable of the greatest states of evolution, where it is not really primarily through the angels, the archangels, the seraphim, the creator gods in that particular way, to evolve and to adapt, to basically change themselves, shift themselves so dramatically that they can now start to take the wisdom, take the place to those higher olive branches to which we have referred to. This is what's so unique about the human design, particularly the human design relating to yourselves on this planet. Your ability to evolve, your ability to adapt, your ability to change, your ability to shift and transform yourselves so profoundly is still something that is even awe-inspiring to those higher olive branches. They too are amazed at how humanity is able to better themselves, how they are able to feel like they have this compulsion to change, to adapt, to expand themselves, to transform themselves. That is a very rare quality. You really don't see that anywhere else. And this is exactly why brother, sister humanity has so much attention upon the planet. Through their interstellar ancestors, yes, but also through other onlookers who may just be passing by. And they are observing you upon the planet, and they see exactly what you're capable of doing. They see how you create. They see how you think. They see how you manifest, and they are amazed. Do you want to know a secret? Many different members of interstellar civilizations often will rely on technology to manifest. So that's something very, very important to know. But when they see that you are just getting these ideas, as it were, out of thin air and starting to manifest these, they can't fathom how you're able to do that. They have no clue how you're able to just pull out a song and just start writing a song and just start playing it in the appropriate notes that truly make it a masterpiece. They are absolutely spellbound that you can do this. Not just them, even your ancestors are always going, wow, that really is something. We are truly amazed at how humanity themselves is able to create and express themselves. It is truly delightful to watch. And this is why, again, you're part of that rung of the ladder, because you carry the most sophisticated universal body in all of creation. And we mean that very literally. It is not these other, shall we say, onlookers who are able to reproduce that. They would not even know how. You would have to teach them. Because again, many of the onlookers that come to and fro throughout your solar system really are not what you would term on a spiritual path. They're not. They work together with synchronicity. They work together with vibrational science, but they don't really understand the nature of the union of the divine, for it is only advanced masters who really understand that. That's why we have many come to us. We understand that. But again, it's very, very rare throughout the cosmos. You're just going to find many of them working together with manifestation technology, working together with vibrational science, working together with synchronicity. And that's basically how they operate throughout life. They do not operate, as you would say, through a 9-to-5 schedule. They don't look at a yesterday or today or tomorrow. Everything is synchronistically aligned for them. And that is something that you will learn as you indoctrinate yourself into an interstellar civilization at some particular point. But what they are truly amazed by are looking at these masters upon the planet, about how they're able to work in going directly to the divine, to move more deeper into union. They are astounded by that. And they even admit humankind has so much potential. It's unbelievable what they're capable of doing. Do they even realize their greatness? And we will say, no, not really. Oh, well, this is exactly why they are part of that echelon. That is exactly why they are part of this divine ladder, where you have humanity, where you have the angels, where you have the archangels, where you have the seraphim, where you have the creator gods, and where you have divine union. It is astounding that they don't realize their greatness. They really don't know it. No, they don't. In fact, many of them consider themselves to be feeble. What? Are you kidding me? Do they not see what they do on a daily basis, of how they're able to create things, about how they're able to express themselves, about how they're able to pull these ideas just right out of the thin air? Can they not see that? Some of them do not, no. And to them, it's really no big deal. This really is something. And they scratch their heads. They can't imagine how you're not able to perceive the great things that you do on a daily basis. How you're able to come up with these ideas, how you're able to write poetry so fluently, how you're able to create music, how you're able to dance, how you're able to do all of these forms of unique creative expressions. They are amazed by that. In many ways, we are also amazed by what you can do. And you again stay, we would not say humble, but in that sense, you're ignorant to your own capabilities. Because you do not understand the galactic community yet, and that's all right. But when you get into understanding the galactic community, you will see the abilities that you have that many others do not. And this is all part of your ancestral creation. Taking the best potency out of many different races and aligning it together into one. Behold the human race. So we want to remind you that when you are creating, that when you are expressing yourself in such a beautiful way, give yourself the appreciation of knowing that you're doing something truly divine. Something truly beautiful, because we, just observing your race, are spellbound by many of the beautiful things that you do. Because there will come a point where you will meet your interstellar ancestors. There will come a point where you will be mentored to learn how to become an interstellar civilization. There will be a point where you will reach the necessary information to helping you understand how humanity came to be. Those times will come. But also be aware of the gifts that you have been given through this form. For it is truly unique, for it is truly blessed, for it is truly spellbinding. We thank you very much for this interaction, and we will now begin your question and answer period here and now. One moment, please, as we return to the conduit. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Adronis. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's go ahead now and move on into Q&A and distance healing. Okay, so like I said, it'll be a mix just based on where I go, bit by bit. So again, people who have donation-based questions, I will go to them first, and then after that, I'll start up from the top and just work my way down, whether it's through questions or distance healing. Okay, so let's take a look at I am here. So I am, let me just have my tarot on standby in case. So I am asks, are the tree of life, flower of life, and Fibonacci sequence that many have known or been taught inverted deliberately to mislead? No. No. And if you actually study the Fibonacci sequence, because again, like I said, you got to feel it through the heart, okay? You're going to get people that are going to say anything, okay? You could basically have a person look at a torus field and say, oh, Brad, that's a distortion. Well, you're right, it is a distortion, but nonetheless, it's the distortion that makes up all life. Because everything that represents the nature of geometry, like what you state here, everything that makes up the Fibonacci sequence in that way, is all part of a distortion, okay? Anything that represents life through the nature of the mind represents a distortion. But there's a sacred sequence hidden within the mind. Because when you're looking at the tree of life, when you're looking at the flower of life, when you're rather just going beyond that, okay? Because that's not even the full truth. That's giving you specks of something that is true. But again, there's only one geometry, my friends. That's the torus field. Okay? So when you look at the hyperboloid and the torus field, they appear as if they're two geometries, but they are one geometry. Okay? So looking at the tree of life, you're looking at a torus field. Looking at the flower of life, you're looking at the blueprint of a torus field. Okay? Looking at the Fibonacci sequence, you're looking at the sequence of sacred measures that's in harmony together with the torus field. There's only one geometry, and that's it, okay? Everything else that's contrived in that particular way represent increments. They can represent portions. They can represent partitions representing that particular geometry. But it really comes down into the hyperboloid torus, okay? So you can refer to it as the hyperboloid torus or just the torus field, whatever you feel, okay? But that's the only one geometry there is, and that geometry itself is a result of etheric perturbation, okay? That is what a field is. And I would suggest you guys look into Ken Wheeler. He really has this figured out, theoria apophysis, okay? And this is things that, again, Jonas has talked about for quite some time. He just didn't get too much into the technical mumbo-jumbo of it, but nonetheless, it's true. Okay, so it really comes down to that one particular geometry. You're looking at the tree of life, you're looking at the torus. You're looking at the flower of life, you're looking at the torus. You're working with the Fibonacci sequence in regards to its partitions, in regards to its portions, about how it outlines itself. You're looking at the geometry of the torus. You're looking at fractals, you're looking at the torus. Okay, everything just comes back to the torus. It comes back to the hyperboloid torus. The torus field invertedly represents the hyperboloid. The hyperboloid invertedly represents the torus field. So even though it appears like we're seeing two different geometries, we are only seeing one, and that is the result of etheric perturbation. That is the nature of the ether being perturbed and folding itself inside out. Ken Wheeler and also other particular people refer to this often as counterspace. Okay? So it's the idea in that sense that the ether is actually being turned inside out, creating this field, right? It's an inversion. So looking at that and seeing that particular geometry, every geometry that you see through ancient cultures to which the ancients themselves have scribed on walls, all represent either the totality of the hyperboloid torus or again partitions of the hyperboloid torus to work together in states of code. Which means you can utilize this through geometry. You can utilize this through music. You can utilize this through sound. You can utilize this through angle. You can utilize this through proportion. Okay? You can utilize this through number because it's all the same, right? These are different mediums, but all the mediums come back to the one, the hyperboloid torus. Okay? That's the only geometry that exists. That's it. That is what's responsible for the natural cycle of life. you basically have a hyperboloid torus. The hyperboloid basically representing the plane of inertia, where nothing really changes. It's a resistance to change, and so it appears as if it's resting. And then, of course, you have the torus, representing dynamism, representing action, representing force, representing motion, representing acceleration. Okay? So you have inertia, you have force, you have motion, you have acceleration. The four properties representing the hyperboloid torus. And that's all there is. So, I am, the whole key here is that whenever you're looking at a geometry, whenever you're looking at a sacred sequence, it's beautiful because it's basically accommodating the nature of that primordial geometry altogether, but that is a distortion. The only thing that's truth is the infinite. You will never ever have anything representing a finiteness that will ever bring forward truth. If it's dualistic, it's never true. Okay? The only truth is the infinite. So, something to look into. All right, but great question. Thank you very much for it. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's go into Nikki now. So this is a distance healing request, so we'll go ahead and do this one. So Nikki says, "Hi Brad, my 12-year-old dog, Goosey? Whoops, sorry. Plug my thing here. 1 second, guys. There we go. Okay. Sorry, my 12-year-old dog, Goosey, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not too sure if I'm pronouncing it right, is sick with diarrhea. The vet says she has a fistula from her mouth to her sinuses. Her legs are wobbly, and he said she has a lesion on her left third cranial nerve." Thank you. Okay. So really what it involves here is just working together with the sinus glands, working together with the nervous system as well too, and also working with her brain and spinal column. Okay. So I will work with the brain, the spinal column, the nerves, the nervous system, and the sinuses. Okay. And we'll work on helping that to come together now. All right. So Nikki, if you want to send love to Goosey, I'm just not sure if that's how you pronounce her name, but if you want to send love to her while this is happening, feel free to do so. Okay. We'll go ahead and we'll begin. Okay, very good. So thank you, Nikki, once again for your request. So I would just say just keep an eye on your little friend there for a few days. Let me know how the progress goes over the next little while. Okay, so saturation of the source center vibration and of the Kundalini healing power has been placed upon Goosey. Okay, so like I said, you can always update me if you want to drop me an email. Just go to newearthteachings.com, go to the contact page, and you can contact me there. And you can let me know how she's doing if you want to, right? Over the next few days. All right. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. I'm just tackling the donation-based questions first, everybody. Then we'll get into other questions. Okay. So this one here is from Karen Fish. Hello, Karen. Welcome. And thank you for your donation. And thank you everybody previously for your donation as well too. So Karen says, hi Brad and Jonas, my question is about star seeds topic. I understand all humans on Earth are star seeds. Do all have the same effect in the unified field or universal consciousness, or some have greater power like light work? You would be incorrect. Not everybody on the planet is a star seed. Okay? Star seeds in that sense would probably make up only about 10 to 15% of the population of the planet. Okay? Could even be lesser than that. No, not everybody is a star seed. Okay? There's people that are basically coming here again and again and again, over and over and over again, because of attachments, because of addictions. They're addictions to the earth plane. They are not star seeds by any means. Okay? Star seeds are actually very few and far between. But what the star seeds are primarily doing, if you want to look at it in that way, and that's fine for a term, okay? What we're doing is, it's our presence that really matters. It doesn't even matter what you're doing, okay? It doesn't matter if you want to be a healer, because you're doing a healer because you feel compelled to do it. Nobody outside of you is giving you such a mission. It's yourself. It's something that you've written down for yourself. I'm going to complete this. I'm going to accomplish this. This is the heart's task, and I'm making it so, right? So you're giving yourself permission for you to fulfill a task because it is of your own heart's intent to do so, right? It's based upon your own meaning. But just the fact that you are present on this planet and you're interacting and you're transmitting, right? And you're being able to bring about this particular type of presence, right? Where you're working together with others just by being with them is making all of the difference, right? The transactions you have with others, the transmissions you have with others, the interactions you have with others, with the planet. Because you're doing a lot of work, and guys, and this is with the greatest respect, conscious self doesn't have a clue of what it's doing, okay? It's not about the conscious self. Conscious self is just brain dead, okay? It doesn't know what it's doing. It cannot do anything relating to creation. You've never created through the conscious self, okay? That's always been through the greater self. You can call it the subconscious, you can call it the superconscious, you can call it the higher self, whatever you want to term it, but it is that greater self that does all the work. Which means while you're walking down the street, you have phantom emissions, or I'd say phantom apparitions of yourself that are doing all other kinds of work that you are not aware of, right? So it really doesn't matter, right? You're just following your own heart's intent. You're following your own life mission that you have written down through on your heart and saying, well, this is who I'm going to be. Great. Fantastic. I'm going to be a healer and I'm going to help people. Great. Fantastic. I'm going to be a teacher and teach school children. Okay, great. Fantastic. I'll be a dancer and teach people about dancing. Great. Fantastic. I'll be a janitor in a high school talking to kids and cleaning up messes, but still talking to them, encouraging them along the way. Great. Fantastic. Go for it. Okay? Doesn't matter. And that's not to stifle what you want to do to creatively express yourself. It's a beautiful thing. But that creation comes to the greater self. It does not come to the conscious self. All the conscious self does is perceive, right? So the conscious self really doesn't matter. It's your greater self that is what you are. That's your nature. But when you're looking at the nature of a starseed, it's because you hold a certain energetic. It's because you hold a certain vibrational property. It's something about yourself that stimulates your environment to the point to which the earth herself requires. And this is why there's only about 10 to 15% of the population that would represent a star seed or a way shower or a light worker or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you term it. Mother Nature doesn't care what you call it. Okay? But again, this is what you represent as a certain signature, right? And it's your signature that's going throughout the planet, helping the people that you are, or maybe you're being helped at the same time. Okay? But it's all coming through the greater self. So yes, we may have memories. We may have conscientious memories of us being on other planets and being able to heal the sick, being able to be great leaders, right? Being able to help bust down certain forms of oppressive systems. And that's great, right? And that's a signature that basically is something that you carry with you. And you may do some particular rendition of what you recall pertaining to memory. But that's just memory, right? You just being present, being alive on this planet is exactly what the earth needs, right? It's like me. Okay, I'm doing this work. Okay, Brad, you're on YouTube, you're doing a video. Big friggin' deal. Right? You're helping other people. You're doing healing. That's okay, great. Big friggin' deal. Right? What matters is the signature. The signature that I produce. What matters, Karen, is the signature. The signature that you produce. The signature that you radiate. That's making all the difference. That's why you're here. And this is looking at the greater self, not the conscious self. Okay? Conscious self, again, is just perception. We're just perceiving things relating to the conscious self. It is when you are in tune with the greater self that everything that you would understand to be bliss, to be expansion, to be wonder, to be amazement, to be just complete and total love and joy and compassion, you will truly understand as you tune much more into the greater self. And to tune into the greater self is to tune into life. It's exactly why I'm giving you guys that exercise of the universal heart exercise, right? Breathing in, breathing out, Om chanting in, Om chanting out, because I'm helping you guys to get out of your conscious self bubble. And I want you to see the entire world as it truly is. And that's what that's going to help you with. Okay? So looking into the idea of, because again, there's these New Agers, right? These New Agers keep talking about a unified field and universal consciousness, and light workers have greater power and all that stuff. No, guys. The greater self already has natural power. Where you are realizing your power is because you're tuning into your greater self, the subconscious, the superconscious, the higher self. That's where you realize your power resides. Because the conscious self doesn't have a darn thing. Okay? It can only perceive. Can only ever perceive. Your creation levels are not in your conscious self. It is in the greater self. And when you start tuning into that, and you start aligning to that momentum of your greater self, now you're going to see miracles be born. It's exactly what Jesus was able to do. He was basically his greater self practically all the time. He spoke as the greater self. He spoke as God. He spoke as the Father. He spoke as those creation levels. He spoke as those manifestation levels. He spoke as those Akashic levels. He spoke in those unified levels. To where there are no levels, there is just the field. And that is exactly what he represented, right? Lifting the Christ oil. All Christ means is oil, right? That's the definition of Christ. Oil that anoints oneself, so that they are anointed with oil, so that they can speak to God. And that's exactly what Jesus did. Okay? Others on the planet have done things similar. I don't think they've done it to the degree that he has. But again, there are others in that sense who can also speak to God. Okay? So again, we can take comfort in the nature of looking at star seeds, light workers, way showers, rainbow children, indigo children, crystal children, whatever other term you want to use, does not matter. What matters is you aligning to the greater self. Be the subconscious, be the superconscious, be the unified field, be the great consciousness. And you will notice that through your life, everything feels miraculous, everything feels blissful, everything feels expansive, everything feels divine, because you have completely integrated the conscious self with the greater consciousness, with the greater self. That's where life truly is wonderful. So again, some of us do have those imprints, those signatures that are here on this planet to do the work that we're here to do, much more on a greater level, rather than just looking at the perception of the conscious self. Because the conscious self really is nothing. Okay? It's the greater self that brings the miracles. It's the greater self that reveals creation. It's the greater self that shows you the nature of oneness, of interconnectedness, your union with the divine. That all comes from the greater self. And that's what I'm attempting to teach you guys to get in touch with, because now you will see your greatness when you're there with the greater self. Okay? Thank you, Karen, for your question. Okay, let's go down here to Babito7. Babito7, thank you for your donation. You ask, Adronis, can you elaborate on the idea of the homecoming and returning to source as we progress through the densities of creation? One moment. We thank you very much, Babito7, for your question. As you progress through the dimensions of creation, why do you intend to take things through a scenic route? Because that's basically what you're saying. Rather than just opening a door and going directly to the divine, you want to take this large, spiraling staircase that moves all the way up this gigantic tower until you get right up to the top. Well, do you have a few million years to spare? Because that's basically how long it's going to take you. If you want to start looking into all of these different dimensions, into all of these different pockets representing life, representing the mind, by all means go ahead. But again, we hope that you have enough wind within yourself to enjoy that spiraling climb up the gigantic tower to the top. Why would you need to do that? Whereas it is as simple as opening the door and walking right through into divine union. You are looking at things pertaining to a nature of transition. You are looking at things where I need to climb each and every single stair. Okay, well, you can if you want, but again, it's really going to take the wind out of you. It is not about trying to perceive and go up every single dimension of the spiral staircase so that you try to think that you're going to understand it all. Again, do you have many millions of years to spare? Even if you have many millions of years to spare, you're still not going to understand the tower. You're still not going to understand the infinite. You are still not going to understand the unified vibration. You see? It's not about that. What if we told you that you are able to see every single stair that goes up this tower with the tower itself included without having to go up a single stair? Oh, Jonas, you must be crazy. How could we possibly do that? By coming here, as we have constantly told you. This is all that matters. It is to be at your center. It is to be the center. And through the center, you are omnipotent. You are omniscient. You are omnipresent. Everywhere, all at once. But you have to work to remain here so that you saturate yourself with the stillness and the surrender that it takes for you to apprise yourself of that realization. It is not about exploring every single dimension of creation. Millions of years, billions of years, trillions of years, quadrillions of years, and still counting. Because that's how long it would take. Rather, this is all where you need to be. It's to be here. It's not to be here. In the duality, in the chaos, in the feeling that I need to just take one step at a time. And what we're saying is that you spend more time here, in your center, everything becomes revealed to you. Every single step of that spiral staircase representing a dimension. Every single piece that makes up that tower, which represents life, you will know. Just by being here. Just by opening that door and walking through and staying in your center. The door is just a permission slip. It's the ideal, right? I will come into center. The door is open. I am in my center. I am now sitting down and letting the light absorb into me. This does not have to be a transitional journey. It can if you want it to. But like I said, you will need millions of years to spare. Billions of years to spare, trillions of years to spare, quadrillions of years to spare, and so on, and so on, and so on. Because that's how long it will take for you to walk up that spiral staircase. And it's like a paradox. The more that you're just walking up and you're looking up, the more that that tower just continues to grow. How much further do I have to go? Well, how long have you been at it? Oh, several million years. Oh, right. Well, another billion, trillion, quadrillion to go. That's what happens when you try to look at all these things linearly. When you look at a dimension, you are looking at something finite. You are looking at something linear. You are looking at a frame contained inside a film strip. And there's another frame, and there's another frame, and there's another frame, there's another frame. You're inside the beehive, and you're looking at one cell, and there's another cell, and there's another cell, and there's another cell, and there's another cell. And you're looking at all these different dimensions, but you're hopscotching yourself throughout those particular forms of cells, throughout those frames contained in the film strip. Rather than being able to look at the film strip at the same time all at once. Rather than being able to see every single cell within the honeycomb at the same time. And that is what happens when you're here. So it's your choice, really. You can wander up the paradoxical spiral staircase for quadrillions of years and counting, or you can look at it all at once by remaining here in the center, surrendered, stilled, and now being able to let that absorption happen in the silence. It's up to you. You see? So look into what we are sharing with you. Listen to how we share it with you. And something will click at some point. All right? We thank you for your question. Okay. Great. Thank you, Babito, for your question. Appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and move down a little bit more. All right, so this one here is from Eve. Eve, thank you for your donation again. Eve says, hi, Brad and Adronis. Question, is the truth about the COVID and its treatments likely to become a public knowledge in 2024? No. Nope. You're basically going to have to wait decades for that. Okay? Because basically, it's as I talked about, because I had a similar question just yesterday as well, too, is that, guys, has the JFK assassination ever been made public for everybody to know that it was indeed a staged job? No. Has the moon landing ever been admitted publicly that it was indeed staged and the director of it was, you know who? No, not really. Okay? Has 9/11 been publicly admitted, knowing that it was a staged inside job and that the public 100% is aware of this? No. Has COVID been mentioned, that it is indeed a pharmaceutical ploy and it was all about trying to microchip people and increase the nature of surveying people so that there's no such thing as privacy anymore and people could now start inheriting properties representing that of the government and that you would have absolutely nothing to your name? No. Okay? Here's the thing, guys. We always talk about this, is this going to be made public? So how would we make that public? Oh, well, Brad's going to be on CNN. It's going to be on MSNBC. It's going to be on Fox News. It's going to be on whatever other cable station you want to term that represents mainstream media. The mainstream media, are they going to broadcast it? What is the mainstream media bonded by? They are bonded by greed. So if they are bonded by greed, why in any way that would be a story that would compromise that greed be allowed to come out through the major MSM networks? It won't be. Those networks have to completely fall, and they need to be overhauled and turned into something completely different. Because the way they are right now, it's not going to happen. And I'm not trying to be a pessimist here. Okay? It's just that when you look into these things, you really look into the frequency of all these things. Now, again, there's a lot of people in the alternative stream that already know about the whole COVID scandal, right? So a lot of people in the alternative streams that know about 9/11, that know about the JFK assassination, that know about the moon landing and all that stuff. That's the alternative stream, right? That's the underground, you could say. And that is because there's no greed there. It's all basically an idea of just sharing information, okay? And again, you have people in that sense who may be reputable in their field who want to come out, and they can't do it through the MSM because the MSM is bought and paid for by the corrupt. So you cannot expect corrupt channels that basically are termed as the mainstream to basically expose something that would mean their end. In order for that to happen, they have to be phased out. So this is going to take some time, right? It could take a couple decades before that happens. I mean, people have been waiting on their feet for the past 23 years to see when 9/11 is going to be announced in regards to the mainstream as something of what it truly was. People are still waiting. Okay? COVID is a very, very recent thing, guys. And you are going to be waiting years if you try to wait for the MSM. Now, why in God's name would you need to wait for the MSM to try and validate something when you know that pretty much everything on their program is garbage and distortion and nonsense? Right? Does that really matter? Does it matter that I have to convince all my neighbors about what CV-19 really represents? No, not really. Does it matter that I just know what it represents? Pretty much. That's all that matters, is that when you already look at this, you see it for what it is. Now, am I able just to put that aside and live my life? Absolutely. That's the key here. It's not about waiting when MSNBC or CNN or any other of these MSM stations are going to announce this. Who cares? Right? It's going to be at a point where you're looking, oh, okay, yeah, they did it. Yeah, celebration. Okay, I got to get back to work. It's nothing but an empty desire. The empty desire for the whole world to know that 9/11 was this, COVID was that, JFK assassination was this, the moon landing was that. Who cares? Okay? Because it's only going to be looked at and it'll have its 15 minutes of fame and then it'll fall back down. These are nothing but empty desires. And the more that you're phasing out these empty desires within yourself, where rather I'm going to look into moving together with the greater self so that I can actually see and witness how I create and how I manifest and how I produce miracles. Guys, doesn't that sound a little more interesting? Right? Rather than worrying about how the world will wake up. It's not your business. And Brad, you've said that all the time. You keep saying that all the time. We talk about this really big topic and you just say, don't worry about the world waking up. It's not your business. How can you say that? Because it's the truth. It's not your responsibility for waking up 8 billion people. Right? It's not your job. It's not your responsibility. You have to let the collective serve the collective. You can observe the collective, you can witness the collective, but in turn, the collective serves the collective. You are not getting on a stage for all 8 billion people to say, hey guys, this is what COVID was all about. Nobody really has that even in their charts. Not even Trump, not even anybody else. Okay? It is the collective wave that is supporting the collective wave. And we can be a part of that collective wave and work together in nurturing, in loving, in supporting, in offering compassion to the world. That's the greatest thing you could ever do. But being able to tell somebody about what COVID really is isn't really going to help anybody. Now, being able to teach a person about how they can never get sick again, that's something tremendous. Just like what I'm teaching you guys on this channel. That when you start putting these practices together, you will never get sick again. You will learn to clear away all of these particular things. You will learn to soften all of this built-up chaos and dualistic polarity within yourself so that you now start to move into a greater light, so that you're not living life through the dumb conscious self. But your conscious self and greater self are married. It's the higher and the lower coming together. And when you are there, you can teach things to people that they can grasp in simple language, that when they look at you and you are the example of that, they will feel absolutely compelled to learn from you. Right? That's the greatest reward you can ever ask for. Hey guys, this is the truth about COVID. Blah 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 blah. Oh, it's horrible. Oh. I got the injections. What am I doing? Am I going to die now? Am I going to die now? Because I got this? My husband got this? My grandson got this? What, are they going to die now? Look what you did. You cause thousands and millions of people to panic because you think that's going to liberate them. It's not. Right? Having this knowledge, guys, doesn't mean it's going to bring liberation. It's knowledge that some people cannot handle. In fact, the majority couldn't. The majority still think COVID's something else. It's something legit, it's fine. And if you try to tell them anything different, you're going to crack their shell. And you're going to traumatize them. And now they're going to worry about their family, and now they're going to worry about their friends, and now they're going to worry about their neighbors, and now they're going to worry about their coworkers, and now they're going to worry about their bosses, and now they're going to worry about the other leaders, and now they're going to worry about this person, now they're going to worry about that person, they're going to worry about that person. And look what you've done. You've caused a cascade. That is not the answer. Rather, somebody's sick. Oh, I have a technique that can help you with that. We'll clear that away in a jiffy. Really? Great. Oh, wait, let's do it. And we do it. Oh my God, Brad, I'm feeling so much better. Well, I'm going to teach this to my grandson. I'm going to teach this to my dad. I'm going to teach this to my son, my husband. I'm going to teach this to my next door neighbor. I'm going to teach this to this and this. What happens then? Now this person is so inspired. You see, it is all about the idea about how you carry knowledge. And just thinking that because a lot of other people think, oh, this is what we need to do. We need to reveal COVID-19 to the entire planet to find out exactly what it is. And you're going to cause more panic than anything that represents liberation. Rather than doing that because that is the foolhardy way of doing it, look into the idea, okay, if you're not well, here's a technique I can give you that will make you feel better. And now when that person continues to do that technique, they will never get sick again. And now they're so excited about this technique, they pass it on to all their loved ones. And they continue to do this. I'm going to show you guys something. This is incredible. This is great. And now what have you done? You've created a signature. You've created a signature that you can now pass on to somebody. It doesn't matter about what COVID itself represents. Because again, you're looking at people that are so fragile that they can crack like an egg. And how you present knowledge on this planet matters, right? You have to look into the idea about if you were caught into something, right? If you were eating something that was your favorite dessert, for example, and all of a sudden somebody says, hey guys, we're releasing the truth right now. That big bundt cake that you ate is poison. Oh my God, am I going to die? My family ate this. My friends ate this last night. Are they all going to die? Look what you did. You caused a cascade. Right? And that comes back to you. And that will penetrate you, and that will hurt you, and that will make you miserable. How you present knowledge on this planet matters. Think about that. So, when I come on this channel, I'm not trying to tell you guys, oh, by the way, COVID is this and COVID is that. I really don't care. What I care about is giving something to you guys that I know will benefit you. And you will try it out, and you will do it, and you will see how this benefits you, and you're going to want to pass it on. We've created a blossoming cascade. We have not created a disheartening cascade. I want you guys to really think about what I'm saying with that. Okay? That's what matters most. Rather than thinking that, oh, it's because of what the truthers want. Who gives a damn what the truthers want? Right? Who gives a damn in regards to what the corrupt want? Doesn't matter. What matters is what the knowledge that you're sharing, is that being used to benefit? Is that being used to grow? Is that being used to expand? Is that being used to evolve yourself? That's a question you have to ask. Okay? Something really to meditate on, I would say. All right, so Eve, thank you very much for your question. Okay, I'm going to go back up to the top of the list because those were all our donation questions, and they were great. Thank you, everybody. You guys had great questions. All right, let's go ahead, and like I said, if I do encounter any distance healing, we'll do distance healing as well, too. Okay. So this one here is from Martin Howard, and Martin says, hey, Brad and Adronis, how is transportation and traveling going to evolve between now and 2050? A lot more magnetic technology. Okay, you're going to be looking at technology that is going to be a lot more cleaner for the planet, right? So basically, between the 2020s, 2030s, there's going to be this electrical craze, right? But then there's going to be further exposures of realizing that the electrical craze is not the answer because that's going to be notified by better technology, okay? And a lot of it is going to be magnetic technology, okay? And that magnetic technology, I'm not talking about like maglev trains or anything like that, there will be that, but a lot of the technology in that sense will be powered more so by free energy. Okay? It's like I said, that there's going to be a point to where there's going to be scalar, where there's going to be 0-point energy, where there's going to be etheric technology. Now it will transition through the common alternative technologies that we have today, from your solar, from your wind, from your tidal, right? Even with hydrogen cars and so on and so forth. That's going to be the blunt of it altogether over the next span of a few years. But then again, as we realize that as we're scrutinizing a lot of this, because people's nature to scrutinize things will actually be a lot more valued than what it is right now, rather than having a bunch of corrupt trying to throw a bunch of filth on top of it and confuse people, right? There will certainly be much more of a scrutinizing that will take place, and realizing that a lot of these particular forms of technologies are not beneficial, and there's going to be a lot more breakthroughs relating to the quantum realm, as they call it. Right, so you're going to have much more quantum, quote-unquote, quantum technologies, right? And they will primarily work in regards to scalar. They will work a lot more with 0-point energy. They will work together a lot more with these magnetic type systems, okay? I even did a discourse for the Japanese audience last week through the company that I'm associated with in Japan called Voice Japan. And one of the questions actually did come up about that, relating to the type of technology that Japan is going to start getting involved with. And Adronis basically came through and it says batteries technology, where there's going to be large storage banks and collecting energy that is going to be much more harmonious for the entire population, and working together with these gigantic battery storage devices. And they are not going to be used through conventional means. They will be, again, occupied through new breakthroughs and being able to fill up batteries very, very quickly. Right? So he wasn't able to give this precise catalyst responsible for filling up the batteries, but that the catalyst itself that will be responsible will be very, very clean in comparison to technologies that we are aware of now. Okay? Batteries, magnetism, subtle energy, scalar, 0-point, etheric technology. That's the future. Okay? I can't say if it'll come along that timeline, but that is really where humanity is going. They will have inexhaustible energy means to do everything upon the planet, to being able to create interstellar conveyances, and being able to have that run off the field, right? You could even say that it's just running off the field, and it's inexhaustible, it is infinite, because it complements the nature of working with the ether, right? That's the key, and that's the only way you're really going to get anything that would represent something of an infinite nature to power energy. It's exactly what Nikola Tesla knew, right? This is exactly what he was trying to do. He was basically trying to create a second sun in the atmosphere, utilizing vibrational technology and harnessing power off that second sun. That was his intention. Never got around to it because, again, his investors were pulling out. So he knew about all this stuff. And guys, I would say majority of the technology today is thanks to Nikola Tesla. Okay? He knew about this stuff. When I'm talking about the true nature of the sun, Nikola Tesla knew that too. Right? When he knew that sun does not give away its own light, it does not give off its own heat, he knew that. He knew it's all about the nature of the radiation of the sun giving off an incredible scale of vibrational energy that could basically be measured in VPMs, vibrations per minute. And we're going to come back to that technology, right? There's going to be a lot of other Nikola Teslas that are going to come upon this planet and just create incredible breakthroughs. And that is going to show up as youthful people, okay? The youth are really going to be the ones that are going to propel humanity forward. It's not the elderly in that way. It's not the young adults. It's not the middle age. It's not the elderly. It's the youth, right? They are the ones that are really going to be the innovators and take humanity to the next level because of their brilliance that's going to come. They're coming onto this planet with that. They're incarnating right now. And you're going to see in the next few years brilliant Nikola Tesla-like minds coming here and just revamping everything. And it'll blow your socks off. I've already seen it happen. And it's going to be coming very, very soon. All right? So that's a good question, Martin. Thank you for showing that. Okay? How are we doing on time? Okay, we've got about 10 more minutes. All right. So turn up every day. Hi, Brad. Will we be able to speak to the Taurus beds in other languages, for instance, in German? Yes, you can speak to the Taurus beds and all that. Because, guys, it's not about your speech. It's about your vibration. Okay? When you have the intention for something to activate, I don't care if you speak it in 100 languages, it's going to activate. Okay? The intention behind the words is what matters. Okay? So pass that on to anybody else who asked the question about the Taurus beds. Mihail says, hello, Brad. Recently you mentioned that great masters never condone violence. Then why Krishna encouraged Arjuna to fight? Okay, have you read the Bhagavad Gita? There's a whole nature, because a lot of people misunderstand this nature about that. So never condone violence in that way, in a way that's true, right? They certainly do not condone violence, because how can I put this? Because I'm trying to put it in a way that's not going to try to be misconstrued as well too. When you're looking at exactly what Krishna was doing, Krishna was basically trying to fulfill a destiny that Arjuna had, and Arjuna was not playing along with the destiny that he was here to do. That his basic role in that sense was to put an end to an old empire so that a new one could rise up, right? And he was having hesitation, which means he was basically in conflict with his own karma. He was in conflict with his own dharma. And like I said, this is going to be something that's it's still debated to this day, about encouraging him to fight. His fight in that sense was not meant to commit murder, but to the idea of fulfilling a destiny-based path that would bring a greater enlightenment to humanity that would span the generations ahead. And that's why the Bhagavad Gita is what it is, right? And it's true. Krishna has basically said, I've already killed all these men, and you are simply the instrument that represents that. This is not really the nature of murder, even though I know that that's exactly what it sounds like. What it represents is that it's the coming of the age of the end, and that a soul itself will never, ever perish. And so this is exactly what he was talking about in his own unique expression to Arjuna, to help him understand the immortality of his being, the immortality of everyone that exists, so that he would therefore have everything pertaining to the knowledge that he needed, so that his destiny itself would be complete. Okay? So again, to condone violence, you're right. It's not about a master coming up to a person and say, okay, well, that guy mistreated you, go up to him and punch him right in the face. Now, what I've actually noticed is that there may be some people who may actually give you that advice, that guidance. Okay? Now, masters, no, not really. The ones that I've seen anyways, will never really condone violence. But I would have to say also, there are certain ones who claim to be masters who actually have told person, all right, just go punch him in the face and you'll be fine. And then the person actually starts to object to that. Say, what do you mean? We're going to go punch him in the face. That's not a very enlightening thing to do. I said, who said anything about enlightenment? You want blood, so go get blood. Right? And then that person just kind of falls apart and he doesn't want to do it. And you're noticing that the instruction is actually given to reach that person to the level that shakes them to the core, so that their instigation pertaining to the state of violence actually subsides. Right? So we're looking at something that is very metaphysical here. We're looking at something in that sense that has many different perspectives. And for me to even try to talk about this, Mihail, we'd probably need a good 3 to 4 hours. Okay? If you're only seeing about what Krishna did pertaining to Arjuna, representing the condoning of violence, you don't quite understand the Bhagavad Gita. Okay? And I would say that to pretty much anybody who thinks, oh, that's all Krishna was doing. He was trying to get him to kill his family and kill everybody in that sense. Is no, then you don't understand what he's saying. Right? This is all about the nature of one's own destiny. This is all understanding the science of spirit. This is understanding the nature of the soul. And if all you see is the condoning of violence, you don't get the Bhagavad Gita. You have to look into the true teachings that Krishna spewed out throughout that incredible doctrine that represents the Bhagavad Gita. Now you also have to understand that this also represents a conflict of the soul when you're reading that story. Okay? Do you guys know what the Pandava brothers represent? I want you guys to answer me down here on the chat. Okay? Mihail, you asked this question. What do the Pandava brothers represent in the story of the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita. Can you tell me what the Pandava brothers represent? Can anybody tell me here what the Pandava brothers represent? There's 5 of them. What are the Pandava brothers? I'll wait. And if you say I don't know, you can just say I don't know. It's cool. Can anybody tell me what Krishna represents in the Mahabharata? In Bhagavad Gita? The V. Okay, so what's the V? 5 senses. No. Okay, great. And it's okay to say I don't know. Good. I'm glad, guys. That's the first step to humility, right? The 5 Pandava brothers represent the chakras of the body. Okay? 5 Pandava brothers. When you look at Krishna, Krishna represents the insight. He represents what you would know as the 6th chakra. He would represent the Ajna. All right? So when you're looking at the only Pandava brother, who was the only Pandava brother he talked to? It was Arjuna. Why was Arjuna the only one he would talk to? Because he represented the energy of action and will. And it was action and will that was necessary for everything pertaining to that struggle to end. Which means, again, a lot of people will take the Bhagavad Gita seriously rather than looking at its spiritual significance. That it is your own insight quality in that sense that is telling you to take out the ego, to release the ego, to remove the ego, to destroy all illusions so that you can see the truth. So that is therefore representing the ascendancy all the way up to the Anya, to where Krishna himself resides. Anyone who has actually been initiated through the Bhagavad Gita, through the Mahabharata, through their teachers, or even through intuitive wisdom knows this. Okay? It's like people in that sense who are basically sharing ideas with the Bible. Well, Brad, why is it in the way when Jesus comes onto the world and he's all about love of the Father, whereas we look at other things pertaining to like what Moses went through, and basically it felt like he was looking at a wrathful God? Because we're not looking at something that is literal. We're looking at situations of the soul. We're looking at situations pertaining to growth. We're looking at ego spin jobs, you could say here, right? Ego calamities, ego conflicts, that I don't have the strength, that I don't have the courage. And in that particular context, there was a wrathful God who was coming forward and saying, I'll just destroy all those people there, right? And then we have the idea of Jesus' story, where there's much more of a loving. Why does that happen? Because of perspective. Because of the perspective of the prophet or prophets themselves that are conveying that story based on their own ability to understand what they believe the divine is. And you look at the Bhagavad Gita, and again, there are prophets responsible for telling that story. Not to look at it in its literal translation, because I'm never going to tell you guys to go out and punch a guy in the face or to take a shotgun and blow someone away. Right? But there have been times where I have said, okay, well, let's just say that you give in to violence and you give in to hurt and you act on those particular instincts. What do you think would happen to you? And that person may start to break down and say, oh, it'll destroy me. It'll destroy me. Exactly. So here's something you can do instead, right? So all I can say is I speak with my own authority here, relating to how I've guided people. Because I do take them on a journey in regards to a person who wants to be violent. And I've met people like that, who want to be violent, who's been cheated on. I just wonder if I should go and just beat up this person and get so angry when I go beat him up. And say, what do you think is going to happen if you do that? So let's take a picture of that. And let's see you go into someone's house and beat the crap out of them. How does that feel? Oh, it felt really good. Okay, let's fast forward a day later. How does it still feel? I'm kind of guilty about it. Exactly. And it's going to turn into misery, because now that you have started a chain reaction. And now something is going to happen where people are going to want to hunt you down, right? Rather, how about we try this? Okay, that's how I work, guys. And again, like when we're looking at the Bhagavad Gita, when we're looking at the story of Jesus, there's people on the planet here that basically will just crucify themselves. They'll put themselves on the cross. This has basically happened in the Philippines. And they will get people to hammer themselves on the cross so that they can feel like they can sacrifice themselves the same way Jesus did. Did Jesus condone all of you to put yourselves up on the cross and hammer yourselves there? So I want you to look at that. Is that a literal context that we're seeing here? Do you guys need to go get a cross and get your next door neighbor to pound nails into your hands, to pound nails into your feet, so that you can hang on the cross, so that you can suffer the way Jesus did? Do any of you need to do that? I wouldn't hope so. I don't think so. Because you're looking at the literal translation rather than looking at its metaphysical understanding. And the same thing goes with the Bhagavad Gita. The same thing goes with the Mahabharata. Okay? Same thing goes with a lot of these sacred books, because these books are all occult books. And the thing that you need to know about occultism is that the language they speak are always in code, utilizing references to perhaps even actual life events that happened, but putting code within it so that the initiate that they are working to instruct will see the code that they have learned. And the majority of the people that look at the Bible, that look at the Mahabharata, that look at the Bhagavad Gita are uninitiated. And they look at it literally. Krishna was telling Arjuna to kill everybody. Then you don't see the Bhagavad Gita. Simple as that. You don't see it. Because again, you're not looking at what the actual story is, about what the actual lesson is, that is so enriched with an incredible learning that very few people are going to understand it. Brad, do you understand it? Yes, I do. I understood it as soon as I read it, right? And it's not literal. And it represents the nature of your own struggle of the soul. Same thing with the Bible. Same thing with many of these other sacred books. Occult books, helping you to understand how to rise past the ego, the death of the ego, so that you move all the way up back to God, to an initiation for the initiates that were given by the masters, the prophets, who were basically instructed step by step, word by word, what to write, because of their own personality that helped to initiate these codes together into future orders that would allow initiates to then pass it on to other people, so that there would not need to be a need of initiation. It could now just come through common language and common examples. Right? So, Mihail, I hope that helps you. I want you to look into that a little bit more. Because again, like I said, if we were looking into the idea of the Bhagavad Gita, where you think violence is being condoned, you don't yet understand it. I want you to look at it deeper. Because again, the Pandava brothers as the chakras, Krishna as the Anya is your clue here. And listen to what he teaches about the yogas. That's the beauty of the Bhagavad Gita. All right? Thank you so much. Okay, guys, let's keep going here. I think we'll probably take one or two more questions because we're almost out of time. So let me see. I can't remember where I was left off here. Lost my space in line here, my spot in line. Okay. So here's something from Sassy. Sassy says, my upper nose and forehead are numb. Do we have a new chakra opening near this area? That has nothing to do with this area here and this area here being numb. Okay, this has to do with pressure. Okay, and that pressure can be something that can reside in the physical, and it can reside energetically. If you are feeling numb here and numb here, then there is a situation that is unfolding there. Okay, and there's no such thing as a new chakra. Okay, that's like saying, oh, is there a third arm growing out here? I feel like a third arm is growing out here. No. Right? The human design contains the amount of chakras that it has. The human design contains the two arms, the two legs, and this is referring to us as we would understand ourselves to be the modern human. Okay? Everything pertaining to your archetype representing physical and energetic qualities will always remain the same for this vehicle as it stands now. When you're looking at numbness, this is something relating to the idea, again, of something physical or something energetic. Okay, so it'd be a matter of looking and saying, when did I experience this numbness? because this numbness can often represent, again, pressure pertaining to fluid buildup. This could be something in that sense pertaining to energetic buildup. This can represent a closing off. This can represent an emotional overwhelming situation, right? There's quite a few explanations together with it. When you're feeling numb in the body, it really has nothing to do with you feeling like you're growing a new chakra, okay? Again, guys, and I say this with all due respect, don't assume what you don't understand, okay? If you're not too sure what's going on, maybe you want to talk to somebody who is experienced in this, who can help you out with that. Maybe that's me, maybe that's somebody else who's also well-versed in understanding the chakra centers and understanding much more about the pressures in your forehead, right? Because the pressures of your forehead can be a sinus congestion. Pressures in your forehead can relate to the idea of the inner ears, can also relate to tinnitus, okay? Can also represent blockages and obstructions within the own insight flow of someone trying to get your attention, but you're not listening, and there's no clearing of the chakras that are needed so that that can be subsided. It's a lot of different things, and I would need to work with you personally, okay? And I recommend that, guys. Do not assume what you do not understand. It's just like how, again, these humble people down below, when I was asking, what do the Pandava brothers represent in the Bhagavad Gita? And the most wisest of answers I've heard from 3 people, I don't know. I don't know the story. Wonderful. That shows how intelligent you guys really are. That is high intelligence. Okay? If you don't know, it's okay. Again, we just don't want to assume that, oh, I'm growing an eye, or I'm growing a chakra because I have pressure in my forehead, right? You're going to scare yourself, right? It's not about that. Rather, if I don't know, I will see if I can get guidance to get somebody who can help me out with that. There you go. That is humility, and that is true divine intelligence, right? Let's please remember that, guys. There are certain things that I don't know, and I even admit it. Okay, I don't know. I'll have to look into this, right? So that, again, just helps you to keep yourself in a state of humility. Okay, so let me end with Leah's question here for a healing request. Can you heal my Achilles heel? Okay, so Leah, I wasn't too sure if that's in your left foot or on your right foot, but just for the sake, I will work together on both feet to help with your Achilles heel. Okay? Here's another bonus question. Does anybody know how Krishna died? Because it's in relevance to what Leah just asked. Does anybody know how Krishna died? You guys got to start reading more of the Bhagavad Gita. You guys start looking much more into Krishna, right? Because as profound as Jesus was representing the nature of the Christ, Krishna himself was the incarnation of God. And if you don't know that story, you guys are missing out big time. To, again, represent, there you go, Bebo got it. His Achilles heel was shot by an arrow. An arrow shot into his Achilles heel. He bled out and he died. Did you guys know that if you actually injure your Achilles heel, you can die? Because that is a vital point within the body. The Achilles heel is a vital point. Something to keep in mind, right? Learning something new every day. And the masters will tell you about that. About the importance of keeping your Achilles in good shape. This is exactly why there was an Achilles heel, right? With Achilles, right? What led him to die as well, too. He has Achilles heel bleeding out through the Achilles. Okay? That's very important as well, too. That is a vital point in the body. It's the same thing as if someone punched you right in the solar plexus as hard as they could. You would probably be dead within hours. Okay? Solar plexus is also a vital point. Just looking into these things, quite fascinating, right? Okay, let's go to Leah here. So Leah, we'll go ahead and we'll work on your vital point representing the Achilles heel. Okay? So again, I didn't see if it was in the left foot or the right foot, but again, we'll just work on that, okay? All right, let's go ahead. Left heel. Okay, great. Thank you, Leah. All right, let's go. So Leah, I just want you to relax, get yourself nice and comfortable, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. If anybody else wants to send loving energies to Leah, they're welcome to. And we'll begin. Okay, very good. So Leah, deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, and we'll let the natural course of things take its time through the Achilles tendon. And if you're noticing some changes, and if you want to report it to me, again, you can go to newearthteachings.com. You can go to the contact page, and you're welcome to share that there all together. Okay. Okay, guys, I ran a little bit over today. We are out of time, so thank you for joining me for the Friday edition here of New Earth TV Live. I really appreciate it. And again, I'll be back on Sunday on the AETHERX YouTube channel. Again, if you don't know the YouTube link, it's right here. It's youtube.com/@AETHERX store. I'll be on there at 10 a.m. Pacific time. 2 giveaways of the Source flashlight, our most powerful and potent product. Whereas if you have any injuries, any wounds, any stiffness, any soreness, any pain, anything of that nature, using that flashlight, you can watch it just go away within a matter of minutes. It's incredibly powerful. It's exactly what it's done with me. It's exactly what it's done with Brianne, my partner. So I'm happy to see you guys enjoy it as well too. For those of you who have been putting orders out internationally, because we've had a bit of a hiccup with Canada Post, I'm now using FedEx, so some orders have returned back to me internationally regarding the Source flashlight. I'm putting together the FedEx labels for that, and it's going to be delivered by Monday, okay, for those of you who are waiting for it internationally. We had a hiccup with batteries, right? They have battery issues, so we're taking care of that, and it'll be ready to go by Monday. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend. Blessings to you all, and I'll talk to you again this Sunday if you're going to arrive. If not, next week for the next signposts and New Earth TV Live. Om Shanti 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 Namaskar. May it be well with you. Keep practicing that exercise. Learn about your expansion. Be your expansion. Be the divine. Be well and take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can do private sessions with me, and also AETHERX.co. And through AETHERX, you'll be able to pick up your Healing Code Cards body deck, your mind deck, and your energy deck through AETHERX. You will also be able to pick up the Etherbed kit. That is also on AETHERX as well. Not to mention that you'll also be able to pick up some apparel and accessories that is also available on AETHERX. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Om Shanti 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 Namaskar, and may it be well with you.